Could everybody in those rooms come out so I can have a full audience? There's nothing pride in it. I mean,
I wouldn't be I'm not going to stand this. Stand wherever you want.
well, I want to welcome you all tonight. This is a great celebration for the courthouse and for Salem. We have the honor of having a courthouse here in Salem. It's been here for 150 years, and we're celebrating that fact here tonight. It's also the holiday season, so we're celebrating the holiday. And hopefully you all get the spirit. I mean, this hallway, what do you think? Yeah. Is Tom Kerr here? He's somewhere.
Yes, here's Tom.
And Karen, and a few others. How about a little applause for those folks that did such a thing? Come out in the hallway here. Hey.
Pat Phillips and Tano.
Yeah, Pat was here and Tano helped out, and Judy Barton, who's not here, but she was part of it. Well, I have a few words, and then we have an honor that is represented by this little plaque, and we'll talk about that too. But it's a special event, as I say, for the courthouse. This building's been here for 150 years. It may not have any feelings, but we have feelings about it. And there was a time when it was a very active place. 1869 they got it started, and there were all kinds of activities going on here. Upstairs is the courtroom, and for those of you that haven't seen it, it's a marvelous place even now. And it's almost in its original shape that it was when they first built it. So it's a marvelous place. And then all these rooms downstairs, there were the surrogate's office was behind us, and then there were other offices along the way that sheriffs were here and other people. And of course the jail at the end of the hallway. And if you don't behave, we've got a place for you. Or Airbnb come this summer. But anyway, I want to do a little talking here about the event and how it came to be and what we had hoped to do actually tonight and couldn't get to it because of the weather. First of all, this Salem courthouse really is a story about Salem pride. Back 150 years ago, actually 151 years ago, there was a need for a new courthouse to be built. So 1868. And throughout that whole year, they were talking about, well, where are they going to locate it? There had been an old courthouse here in Salem, but that didn't mean anything necessarily. The whole county was looking to get the courthouse located in their towns. So finally, at the end of the 1868, there was a big county meeting with the supervisors all meeting. I think they met in Fort Edward at the time. I'm not sure where it was. But the decision was made to have Salem get the courthouse. And one of the key reasons that they got it is Salem agreed to pay 1/3 of the cost of the building And so it was awarded to Salem, and it was a big celebration here in Salem. Well, I don't know how big. But I know that there was a group at least. And what we're going to recreate tonight, but it's so windy we can't. They marched through the downtown Main Street with torches, singing, having a great time. It was right after the Civil War, so probably a lot of Civil War songs were sung as they marched along. You know? And they went to the tavern. Where else would you go? And so we were going to come to the courthouse with our torches as we sang, and sang things like Yankee Doodle Dandy or whatever else we could come up with. And I think we could sing that right now. Anybody up to singing? Keep going. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle Dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. So, going up the street, right? That was The work got started here in 1869 then, 150 years ago. Well, they had to hire an architect, and Marcus Cummings from Troy was the architect they hired. They had to hire contractors, they had to hire masons and carpenters. Al was in the running, but he didn't get a job. Anyway, they got started with the foundation. They were done with the foundation by June. Now they only had 6 months to go. But they finished this whole building, imagine, by the end of December of 1869. So it was amazing amount of work. They must have had an army to do it. These walls, I mean, even these interior walls are like this thick. I mean, you can see the space between the inside and the outside. So, we had it here, and everybody was so proud it was in Salem. There were a couple of guys I want to mention. James Gibson was an attorney in town, and in 1869, actually 1868, he was elected as the supervisor from town. He's very influential in the county, and so he became the supervisor of Salem, and he came up with a strategy how we could get the courthouse in Salem, and he said this $10,000. Okay, 1/3 is $10,000 for the building of this building. The ultimate cost was 30, and they came within budget on that building. In those days, they did that kind of thing. But anyway, $10,000. So he was very effective, apparently, and a very good man. And we have Todd. Where's Todd? Todd, I think upstairs we have a picture of him as you go into the courthouse or courtroom. If you, Todd DeGarmo has put together a little self-tour, and James Gibson is one of them. The other person I want to mention from that time was John Williams. John Williams lived across the road. He was a very wealthy man. He became very he was very wealthy because his grandfather had been very wealthy. His grandfather had been able to, he fought in the Revolutionary War and then bought up a lot of the land of the Loyalists who had to leave the area. And through selling that land back to other settlers, he became very wealthy. And he lived right across the road here in Salem and was influential in a lot of ways. But he died as a young man. Anyway, his wealth continued, and the man, John Williams III, or whatever his title was, contributed the land that this building is on. He said you can have this kind of irregularly shaped. If you watch, it's kind of a point out front, and then it spans up to the east. Anyway, this is the place that the building got built on, and it was John Williams that contributed that land. So here we were, all done at the end of 1869. So we're celebrating 150 years later. Since, well, let's go to about the end of the 1990s. The 1990s. The county decided that this building was getting obsolete. There were too many things wrong with it. It was getting old. There weren't the kind of rooms that they needed in those days. I mean, it's only 25 years ago. But they needed more space. They needed more specific rooms. They wanted to move the county seat to Fort Edward, and that's what they did. And so, what are we going to do with the building now? County says, we're moving out, we're going away. There's a man here, Bill Everly, who had an idea. Okay. Wait, I got more. We got Joe Childs over here, another man. We got Al Cormier over here, another man. We got Kate Tomasi, another woman. And we got Bruce Ferguson over here. And the five of them, plus a few more, came up with an idea. We have something that we can do. No, that's it. And so they designed a not-for-profit organization, got all that worked out. met for hours and hours, had different meetings within the community, and there were all kinds of plans of what we could do with the building. And so by 2002, the organization was established. Here we are 17 years later, and we are an established organization with a lot of programs for kids, a lot of programs for adults. The building is heated. Look at this. Huh? You comfortable today? Is John Bramer here? Thank you, John Bramer. Yay. So we're moving. We're moving along.
Windows, Paul Kobelik.
Yeah, where's Paul Kobelik?
Where's Paul?
Here's Paul. That was a little different part of it, what I was going to say here, but anyway, we're getting there. The building is used, it's still important in our community, and there's pride in this building. That's the main point I'm trying to make here, I guess. I want to talk a little bit about the restoration. I mean, part of what the group came up with as they said we want to take this building on was the restoration. So it was, can you say it with me? Historic Salem Courthouse Restoration Association. All right. Or for short, HSCPA. Or HSCPA. But it's not easy. So we call it now Courthouse Community Center frequently, just to make it a little easier. We've had grants that we focused on the exterior work to be done, roof, various exterior jobs, the envelope as we call it. Then we've had private subscriptions for the first floor windows. Now as you've been going in to get your food and so on, these first floor windows used to be swivel windows. We took those out, and Paul Kobelik designed a window side by side, double hung. Take another look when you go in there. Beautiful windows that are more in keeping with the original windows that were in the building in 1869. Now Paul couldn't do it all by himself, of course, so he had help. And is Bob Beaver here too? Well, he was on our list, so I was hoping, and I just want to make mention, if you could just pass the word on that I did mention his name, but he helped. Paul, of course, doing most of the designing and the physical, putting them all together. Those windows have been subscribed to by 5 families now, and we're hoping to get 3 more families because there are 8 windows altogether. So we got 5 families, and they are
4 families and the board of directors.
well. Don't tell them. Let me explain who they are. I'll give you the specifics here. Evelyn Nesty and her family.
Is Evelyn here?
She's coming.
She's coming?
Okay. Mike and Lori, last name? Columbrero. Yeah. In memory of her mother, Lori's mother, and in honor of her father.
Whose name is
Florence.
Paul Tomlinson
Florence.
and Florence Tomlinson. Then Joe Childs. Give him a window. The 2019 Board of Directors, along with Kate Tomasi. And then Bob and Carolyn Ackland. So the windows are almost done. There has to be more refinishing inside. And then our storm windows going to be put on the outside probably in January. So we'll have a dedication of the windows, and there'll be memorial plaques prepared and put on the inside of the windows for all of those subscribers. So we still have 3 more. Let me know. Come and see me. In addition, now Carrie Warner is here tonight. Good to have her here. Carrie Warner has provided us with a grant that we are working on and have been working on and continue to work on, and eventually there'll be a final decision made, approval given, and we'll get the money to help do the heating project here. I hope you're patient there, John, with the payment. It'll be getting there. No, we can cover that. And a few outside more projects that'll be done come spring, because we understand that the approval is very close now. She also brought, Carrie, I don't know, do you want to come up and talk about this at all? Let me come down. And why don't you come over? Why don't you get over here?
So in honor of the 150th anniversary of this significant building in Salem, Senator Little and I together did a joint legislative resolution on the floor of both the Assembly and the Senate this spring to mark in the history books this occasion. And so it's my pleasure to present to you, Janice, and to the Board of Directors this legislative resolution that has been recorded and is now in the law books of the state of New York, honoring the courthouse and its 150 years of history. To another 150.
Thank you very much. And then we have, we're not finished once we get these projects done. We got more projects. This hallway looks terrific tonight, but we want to do a little bit more. Refinishing the woodwork, putting in a new floor, just making it look a lot better. And out through the door and up to the stairs. By the way, Paul Koblik, one of the first projects that we had done in this building was to refinish those doors, which had been stored out in the barn, and we located them, and Paul took them and made them look like new, and we've been using them ever since. And we'll use them forever from now on too, I think. But anyway, we want to make this whole hallway look a lot more refreshed and done. And then we want to get a grant for the courtroom work and an elevator to get to the courtroom. So those are kind of our longer range things that are coming in the next, I'll say, 5 years, if we can get cooperation with that. I just wanted to finish this part of it with a little piece that I wrote earlier that kind of sums it up here. Salem started out as a place in New York State way long ago, in the 1700s even. Started out as a place in New York State that attracted pioneers to a frontier that required extraordinary hard work and ingenuity to provide a safe and productive community for the people who were attracted by what they saw when they arrived here. Beautiful setting, good fertile land, plenty of water. Unusually strong and insightful leaders with exceptional energy were part of the story as Salem developed from a wilderness existence to one of order and prosperity. Men from Salem were involved in the fight for independence from Britain, and then helped to establish the Constitution to live by. A courthouse in Salem was built in the 1790s, before this one, where laws were enforced. The current courthouse that we're in tonight replaced the original one, and it's been here for 150 years as of now, as an anchor to the historic segment of our community. It also provides a reminder of all the positive things that our predecessors did for this community that we enjoy today. It's our turn to keep it going. So, I thought that it might be good just to celebrate with a couple of carols, and then another sort of patriotic song. And I hope you're all up for it, because that's what we're going to do anyway. But I think a very appropriate carol will be Deck the Halls. What do you think? Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. sound we know our sky carol. Fa la 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 la. All right, one more. Any offers?
How about Joy to the World?
Joy to the world. Okay, Joy to the world is our next one, and then we have a patriotic song. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare Him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. All right, and the last song then will be God Bless America.
Yes.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the light from above, from the mountains to the valleys, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America,